Right. It is an era where we live. The guest that was here before just said we live in a gig era where you are from one gig to the next gig, and that has been the life of most youths or most campus students, balancing studies and gigs. If you are in campus or if you have gone through campus, you understand what I'm saying. Gigs after gigs. Today you're on a road show, that is a gig. Tomorrow you're a salesperson somewhere, that is a gig. If you're a DJ, you're DJing somewhere, that is a gig. These promotions, unatembea kwa lori, una dance, that's a gig. So we are living in a generation of gigs after gigs, and most of campus students are really managing it well. If not gig after gig, there are those who have begun their businesses. We'll have a feature someday here of a young lady who began selling tops to her classmates and her roommates when she was in first year, and right now she's owning a million worth business. That is Mtumba business, and it's something that as young people we often overlook. The small business, the small gigs that we balance with education is what keeps us going. The experience you get as you begin your journey, when you have no shame. Remember, when you're a young person, you don't have shame in doing anything. So the earlier you begin doing it, the better, because most of the employers will want you to have 10 years experience when you've just graduated. So it is time to begin right now. That business that you want to do, whether in sales, whether it's in offering services, do it as early as you can. And balancing it, money is good, but try to balance it with your education. So that has been a feature on how our beloved DJ here in KUTV balances his books and studies. We are having a discussion, and that is on the newspaper review coming up shortly. All right, now newspaper review is here with us. Ojuan,
yes,
thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Asante pia.
It is
good
always
morning.
a pleasure to have you on Biashara Tuesday.
We have a mandate.
Yes.
They've always taught me that to whom much is given, much is expected. Lazima tuendelee.
Lazima tuelimishe. I've had comments saying that you give bold comments. Some say that you should watch your back because we live in a regime where unaweza kuna tembea unasikia tu people are running. So some tell me you're doing a good job. Keep doing it, keep injecting, but others also say that
watch out from
watch out.
I appreciate. You see, before 2019 I used to be someone different. Like mimi na wewe tusumbuane kidogo, I say si lazima, and I start finding ways to commit suicide or eliminate my life. But after 2019 I learned a lot of things through people whom you thought you could not learn from. In the old days, people used to learn from people who are older than them, that you have to go to a teacher who is like a parent to you or older to learn. But I learned through someone who was turning 2 years or 2 years at the time, and that was my daughter Melissa Mariam, who wants to be a doctor in future. She taught me how to be responsible, that you don't always have to run away from your problems. And us as a country or as a youths of this country, we don't own our problems. Kama saizi tukuwe na shida ya barabara hapa hivi tunalia ya mbunge ndio anafaa tengeneze. Kukuwe kuna shida ya masomo tunalia ya mbadi sijui na Ruto wanatufanyia. What about us? The third president of this country, the late Mwai Kibaki, taught us to be asking ourselves, how can we help the government? How can you help your neighbor? How can you help your brother or sister whom you don't share blood with? When you are doing all these duties, you have to be honest, you have to be transparent, and you have to be cautious. I'm always bold because I speak my mind, but I'm never insolent. Not even in this life of camera, even outside cameras or when they are turned off. I don't like abusing people. I don't like attacking people. I like us to discuss issues with the name of getting solutions that will offer us sustainability and scalability, so that tukideal na issue moja leo, kesho kutwa hatujipati tukideal the same. How can we do that when we are still lying to ourselves and lying to others? For example, saizi utasikia Mbadi akisema the government is not able to fund FPE and free secondary education. But next day utasikia the current DP Kindiki akisema there are naysayers who are saying that the government cannot give its children basic education. Unashangaa nani anaongea ukweli, nani anaongea uongo. Sasa hata mimi mnataka nijipate hapo? No, lacha nikaage hapo pa ukweli. Isemekanage Ojwang amepatikana mahali lakini ni juu ya ukweli wake. Such things zimeweka watu kama Mwagodi, zimeweka watu kama Boniface Mwangi. No one cares. Wewe ongea ukweli wako. Bora usitusi mtu.
Now that we are still on education issue, it's given prominence on the Standard and the Daily Nation. Still on the same, on who to listen to. When we had the previous CS, that was Ndungu.
The previous CS for which?
Treasury. He used to say, serikali haina pesa. Hatuwezi fanya hii. And everyone was like, no, he's saying his own words. And now we had the interview, the interview that Sifuna went to. He said that those people, if we look at their profile, they had their own agendas. They were not sent entirely by the party, because Sifuna says that after they were sent in government, the party released a statement that they have gone on their own. And now, looking at that background, from where Sifuna sits, that looking at their background, they went there as a retirement plan, and also looking at it in terms of these are people who are really opposing the government. And when we wanted answers on how the economy is running, Ndungu was giving us information that we are borrowing so much, we don't have money. And now we were given experts to do the job for us, and we are here right now, where the Standard is also on the Financial Standard. They're saying alarm Kenya's debt spiraled past 11.5 trillion mark, like we are above. Asa tumeachana na ceiling, tunatafuta sasa the ionosphere and the stratosphere. Tushatoka kwa ceiling, tunaenda beyond. So it is something that we you've asked the question, who are we? What are we doing for ourselves as a country? What can we do for ourselves as a country? This is something that requires government intervention, really, because it requires education. For the longest time has been receiving the highest allocation in the country, but still we are being told that we can't manage education. So what can we do for ourselves as a people? There is taxation that is uprising. We have companies moving out of the country. We have businesses failing. Those who are startups, they're finding it hard to manage in the market. Everyone is complaining they don't have money. The government is giving allocations to this sector, and it is saying that right now, sasa hatuna. We have seen increased borrowing. So in as much as we want to do something for ourselves as a people, what is there to do for ourselves as a people?
There's a lot. There's a lot we can do for ourselves as a people. Back when we were introducing this free primary education to Kenyans, we used to have other ways of encouraging pupils and students to go to school, like the then second president of Kenya before 2003, President Moi, used milk. Maziwa ya Nyayo, we give you milk, you will go to school. Before President Kibaki came to power, I was living with my grandmother between 2000 and 2003 back in Laikipia County, a place called Gobit. By now, I've seen other brains coming from Laikipia County, Gobit, like Barack, who graduated. And that time, the country was very hungry. We had a lot of drought. In fact, they used to call it in Kikuyu, ngaraguya gadeka, meaning the hunger of that kind of maize they used to call gadeka, yellow maize that was being given as donation. But you see, people were still going to school. What were you taking to school as form of fee? You are supposed to carry a firewood, You are supposed to, if you don't have firewood, your parents or grandparents could volunteer to cook for others. Others could volunteer other things. We've heard these stories even in dramas and plays where you've seen Tom Daktari when he's acting his mwalimu things and anaambia wewe baba yako analetaga kuni. We used to have that. Then Kibaki comes and says no. The only way we can empower this community now that kuna kuwaga na corruption mingi, tunaweza tenga pesa za ina zipotee, is by giving them education. So that as tunawaibia, some of them will actualize something in their brains and they will give back to their society. Tukatoka hapo hivyo, that was a first term president. He came and declared FPE, free primary education free, and it worked. Fast forward to 2012, the then president, fourth president of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, comes in and declares free secondary education. That is 2012. What happens in 2022? We are taught, driving on a hustler nation, that we'll have free and accessible education. Accessible education means it's absolutely free for your child or another person's child to go to primary, to go to secondary, and eventually go to campus. They started by not touching that. They went direct to campus and introduced NFMs, new funding models, that were opposed greatly. They did away with help that was they did away with help that did not receive a good effect from the people. They did not want it. They said no, we don't want it. Mm-hmm. The government calls for committees and tell them, look guys, sit down, evaluate our higher education or tertiary education, what can we do? They go ahead to say that we don't have money. They did that. But then the opposition said, we have money as a country, we just have bad leadership. And people like the current CS Treasury, CS Mbadi, said that the education of this country, if the ODM helpers could be given a chance, would work. And he went on to be the CS Treasury. Juzi, I heard Rigathi Gachagua say that there is a plan by President Ruto to dismantle and finish ODM. Let's look at things how they are. Ndo hapo ndo boldness inakujiaga, analyzing facts. This government ya Kenya Kwanza inasema hatuna pesa za education. Mbadi anasema hapana, tuko na pesa, nyinyi ndio viongozi wabaya. Mbadi anapewa, anaambiwa haya kuja basi, angalia hizo pesa, wewe ndio CS wa Treasury. Anasema hapana, makosa haikuwa serikali ya Ruto, makosa ni hakuna pesa. As tunasema hakuna pesa, we have cash like 1.2 billion that is being used in State House. We have other cash being used in the PR that they are doing. We have money as a country. We have money as a country as long as sisi wote huwa tunaamka. Kila mtu anaamka na anakatagwa pesa mingi kuliko zile ambazo huwa anatumia mzazi wake for those who went to school to help their community. For example, saizi ukilipwa 16% kwanza kwa gava. Ikishamalizana hiyo, SHA wanakukata. Wakishamaliza wanakuambia NSSF wanashughulikia uzee wako, wanakukata zingine. But wewe ile yenye na bado Mungu hajachukua 10% yako, mzazi wako mwenye alihaso hivyo vyote akufikisha hapo, hajapata anything. So black tax iko hapo hivyo. So you only work to help the government. Why? You're supposed to work, do personal development, and then the rest you contribute to the society through taxes or helping someone hapo kwenye nje. Mm-hmm. Sisi wa Kenya ndo wabaya. Tunafaa tunashughulikia leadership yetu, ndo tukue na viongozi ambao wako pale hivyo, not like kings and queens. They are there as representative of the people who have the sovereign power. If they represent us, then we are able to tell them, hatutaki hii university funding model, hakukuwa na shida ya help, ebu shughulikieni venye hii help inapatikana, watoto wetu wasome, wakimaliza msiwape kazi, tengenezeni environment ikuwe free for them to create jobs, ndo wa employ wale ambao hawakupata nafasi ya kwenda shule. It's a leadership issue, not an economic issue at all.
All right, so if I'm getting this straight, you're saying the only way we can help ourselves as a country is by
being sober when we are electing new offices.
All right. How is that going to help us? Because umesema shida si viongozi, shida ni
How is it going to help us? We have talked about 2012, 203 tulikuwa tumetoka kwa serikali ya Moi yenye ilikuwa imepitia shida mengi sana zenye ni political na madeni mengi sana ya nchi za kigeni. But wale viongozi wenye tulichagua, at that time I remember very well because Baba came 3 months to the election and said Kibaki tosha, and the country seemed united. We did it then. How did we do it? Right policies, right leadership. At then in 2003, Baba alikuwa minister wa roads and works, na barabara zilinyooka. Meaning ni nani umeweka hapa kwa hiki kiti? Si kuna watu ambao tunasema wanafanya kazi. Look at what Embakasi East MP Babu Owino is doing. He's in the same government. He's doing something. Look at the things that are happening in Kiharu constituency. He's the same MP. He's doing something. Why is it that others are not doing it? It's because they lack goodwill. If they are lacking goodwill, it means shida ni sisi. When we are going to elect leadership, we are not going to do so out of goodwill. We are going to do so out of being coerced by the 500 they're using to bribe us. Mm-hmm. But you see, the future is changing. In 2007, we will have people like my sister, who is 21 years old, voting. My sister has taught me a lot of things as a millennial. That leo juang, hata ukinipea punch, haimaanishi umebuy loyalty. Kesho nitaamka na nita speak my mind. So 2027, watu watahongwa wengi sana. In fact, mimi nikipata na mahali voters wanahongwa, nitapanga laini hata mimi nishike hizi pesa. So that nikiamka hiyo siku, badala nitumie hizi pesa sijui kwenda kukunywa pombe, nitatumia hizi pesa kukula. In fact, tukikaribia election hivi unapata punch, make sure unanunua nyama. Juu zile pesa ni pesa zimeibiwa watu na haziwezi kukusaidia. You can't invest in politics money. Nunua nyama, kula fiti. Ukiamka zenye zimebaki, buy bundles. Tuingie polling center. Tuone kuna venye kura zitaibiwa tukiwa live sisi wote TikTok. Tuone kuna vile ambavyo leaders wenye mimi sitaki ndiye ameingia. Kuna vile ambavyo hii punch ulinipea jana with the name of unaninua ita work. Things will change.
All right. I think that is also going to help us in so many issues here, because it will help us solve the financial problems that you're having as a country. Now let's get a little bit of what the Standard is saying, that the President and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi have betrayed Kenyans. And this, if I may just read the write-up, that Kenyans are being abducted, tortured and dumped across East African borders. Yet their government watches in silence. From human rights activists, Mobili Mogodi left drugged and traumatized in Diani after 4 days of torment in Tanzania, to the earlier seizure of and sexual assault of Boniface Mwangi and Ugandan journalist Agatha Atuhaire. The pattern is chilling, with no formal charges, no consular access, and no accountability demanded. These incidents raise the alarm on a brewing diplomatic disaster. At the center of the storm are President William Ruto and Foreign Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi, who have failed to condemn the violations or defend Kenya's sovereignty. Critics now accuse the state of betrayal, worse of complicity. I also saw the cartoon of, I think it was on Daily Nation or my Uni Standard, where the two leaders, Museveni, Ruto, and Mama Samia. Ruto is kicking the ball, and Nia Chan. That's the only conversation that is serious to them. Okay, don't misquote me. So the Standard this morning is accusing Prime Cabinet Secretary, who doubles as the CS of Foreign Affairs, and Ruto of turning a blind eye on abductions. And from where I sit, I think it's not even about, you can't control every Kenyan what they go to do in other countries. That is what Mudavadi said, that they cannot. Every country has its own rules. In as much as we are a community as East Africa, every country has the sovereignty. Like they're allowed to make their own decisions how they deal with issues. But then there is the issue of a Kenyan, hata kama ni allegation. It's a situation where your daughter amekwambia, mtoto wa nani amenitusi. He'll be like, kwa nini amekutusi? Inquiring. Ilianzaje? How did it go? Nini imefanyika? Ama nani amenichapa? As a parent, you're like, amekuchapa kwa nini? Nini imefanyika? Amekumiza wapi? But you're having a country where someone says, I was abducted. I was sexually abused. And then the country is saying, like Prime CS said, that they did not give us notice before leaving the country. You know, I had this interview and I was like, where did we go wrong as a country? The CS said that they did not tell us that they are going. So whatever happens, we didn't know. But these people, they have visas. If not visas, their passports were stamped. If not that, they crossed the border. They were at JKIA. So that means at the moment that plane inatoka inapanda, Foreign Affairs knows so-and-so has left the country. So that by itself means they have told the country. And we're having a situation where they are reporting, hata kama ni uongo, as a father, as someone who is responsible for your kids, is it so much to ask for to even do investigations as to why this has happened? But no, that is not happening. We are seeing a case where mnaambiwa nyinyi mulienda kuchokoza wengine. It's like mulienda kuchokozana, so you deserve what you're given. From where you sit, Ojwang, how should this, let me not say this, guys, how should the president and the Prime CS holding the topmost position in the executive level, what are they to be doing for us as a country to ensure that we feel safe in the jumuiya? We are not even safe in the jumuiya. So what happens ukienda in another country? What are the things they should be doing to ensure the safety of Kenyans in as far as abductions and torture is concerned?
We have a commission as people of the earth that is called United Nations Human Rights Commission, UNHCR. Its core mandate is to protect the fundamental or basic rights of everyone in the world. On top of that, we as EAC, East African Community, are not bonded just by our constitutions. We are bonded by brotherhood. Ya kwamba sisi ni jamii ya Afrika Mashariki na tunajivunia a Swahili speaking nation that has accommodated other nations. Waingia pale hivyo kama South Sudan, Burundi, Rwanda, zote ziingie. Kitambo tulikuwa tu Kenya, Tanzania na Uganda, na hayo mambo yanaishia hapo hivyo. When you are in Tanzania today, I consider it's like you are in Kenya. When you are in Uganda, I consider it's like you are in Kenya, because we are one country. These three countries, we don't even mostly need visas or things like those. If you are in Nairobi or you've been coming to the capital of Kenya, you've seen a lot of Burundi residents here illegally selling jugu and coffee everywhere. And we are not fighting them because we consider them our brothers who are less fortunate, and they are crying. When Ugandan journalist Agatha Atuhaire went to Tanzania, she did not go there to cause terror. She went there in solidarity with those who are being abducted and their rights violated by Samia Suluhu's government. When Boniface Mwangi, a Kenyan activist, went there, it was still a call. Can you guys come and help us? Our problem is people like Musalia Mudavadi, I'm sorry to say. People who have been in a comfort zone for a very long time. And it's a shame, not for him alone, for us as people who are looking upon to doing greater things by the time we are reaching his age. It's one of the newspapers, Musalia fighting the Burkina Faso's president, Traore, saying that he's a bad example to use, yet he's only 36. Musalia went to government around 20s and he just became CS. That's a privilege. He was supposed to work now professionally from that point to learn everything about politics so that today we can consider him as a big brother. We are not considering him as a big brother. If you look at the Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard, they are saying betraying Kenyans, meaning these two are traitors. But whose faces are we seeing here? He's one of them. He's an elder to President Ruto. He was supposed to tell President Ruto, my young brother, you see, we took you when you came to this political space from 92 when he was a student of UN and joining KANU, Kenya African National Union. These old guards like Musalia Mudavadi were bringing these people on board. In 1997, they brought Uhuru on board just to nurture there is even Raila there. Hawa ndo walikuwa wananacha viongozi. Anafaa kuambia Ruto, kijana, ndugu yangu, hatufai kukanyaga hapa, hatufai kukanyaga hapa. Kizazi tunachocheza nacho ni kizazi kile ambacho ule jamaa wa Shakahola alisema siku moja kitaturamba. Even if in 2 or 3 alikuwa anaongea kuhusu Ruto siku moja taturamba, which is happening, he should also know that even one day, one time, sisi Gen Z na millennial watarambwa pia. And there is another generation that is coming up very fast, the generation alphas. The generation alphas, hautawaambia ati hey nyinyi wase, mnajua nataka sijui nitoe elimu, sijui nitoe nini. These things will be impossible in future. Our country should be talking about how are we leveraging on AI so that it is not destroying us. We are using it to gain. But Kenyans should be very careful about the pasts of people they are putting in power. Don't just look at someone's manifesto, because we can go to ChatGPT and create manifesto. Look at huyu mtu past yake inakaaje. Wanasema Mui huwa mwema. At what point did this Mui become mwema? Vitu kama hizi ndio zinafanya watu wapigwe hadi watu kama Martha Karua, that wanasema Martha Karua in 2007 2008 alishughulika mahali hapa hivi kukakuwa na giza na Kibaki akaapishwa kama president, kukatokea vita. If Mui huwa mwema, wanauliza at what point did Martha Karua say sorry? At what point did she experience a Damascus moment? We never saw that with these people. We never saw that with Ruto, even after him being accused of too many things. But we still went ahead to elect him because of a good manifesto. Tuangalie hadi watu, sio makaratasi peke.
That's in order. Let's move to the Daily Nation, where it's a conflict, not a conflict of interest bill, but there is a tax law that has exposed Kenyatta family of having been part of the expressway deal. And they're claiming, the Standard says it's the family has earned millions in dividends. A tax proposal tribunal case indicates that in 2022 alone, Edgeworth Properties declared dividends payable to its sole shareholder, Inc. Investment, as 1 billion Kenyan shillings. And if we look at the Standard, ni kama leo, the Daily Nation, leo wamejam a contract between Edgeworth Properties and is it KEL Infrastructure Construction Company, the Nairobi Expressway contractor, will not have raised any eyebrows were it not for a tax feud over millions of shillings. Now the dispute has exposed another well-kept secret, the Kenyatta family linked to the mega road project. And if you look at how the Standard have begun that story, the reason why I'm telling you amejam sana, it's given a write-up of about 2 pages. And it begins, President Uhuru Kenyatta was clad in a navy blue suit, white shirt, and a red tie when he took to the podium to deliver his speech for the 2019 Jamhuri Day celebration at Nairobi's Nyayo Stadium. He often wore dark-colored suits on serious occasions, such as his 2023 inauguration and several high-level engagements with his foreign counterparts and other important, they are giving the seriousness of the matter when he said that no public servant will be given government tenders, And now, were it not for the case, we wouldn't have known. I've heard of situation, a story again of the expressway, the renovation of expressway. Not expressway, Mombasa Road. I was using Mombasa Road the other time, and it's, I think I've mentioned this before, around Syokimau. And the renovation that is done on the road is, let me not say substandard because I'm not an engineer, but then you would know it's not of good standard. And then I asked, na hizi barabara zetu siku hizi zinafanywa tu renovation tu hivi. Nikaambiwa ati sio ni tenda ya Sudi. Not Sudi. Who is the Ruto's right-hand man? Faruk Kibet. I was told that hiyo ni tenda ya Faruk, and I'm like, wait a minute. So these tenders you are given according to how well you are in government. And as someone also told me that the reason why most people fight being in power. You see someone is very rich, multi-millionaire or even a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and they're still looking for government position. The reason is not to lead. The reason is either to protect their businesses or to keep being in business. So that is something that I'm also seeing here. Na kuosha pesa. So in the spirit of under this story, what the Daily Nation has given prominence. Of course, they have other stories, but what is your take about this preaching water but taking wine when it comes to government leadership, and mkono ya serikali or sheria only applying to the common wananchi and not the haves, the rule of law applying only to the have-nots and not to the haves. Also, in terms of tender, I had an interview with a lady who was saying that government tenders are given based on interest, not ability to deliver per se, but interest. If someone who is giving out that tender is interested or will benefit from you doing that tender, that is when you'll be given that tender. So what does it speak about the prudence of our governance in terms of developments?
You see, in this country, we are having a lot of platforms for civic education that I'm loving it, every process of it. We've had artists talk about komsa, mchezo wa tauni. But looking at this mchezo wa tauni, even the editors of Daily Nation are very angered because of the seriousness and the soberness of the day when this bill was ordered by the fourth president of Kenya to Attorney General Kihara Kariuki back then in 2019, that even the clothes you wore, they were used to black and red tie and white, but it was navy blue. They've accused, or we've seen President Kenyatta not being afraid of preaching wine, because he has even been on those places or on sunroofs, still not sober and talking about things. But Kenyans have been triggered by the fact that the current president, who is seen as a biblical president, is not preaching water, is not seen drinking wine, but he's lying more than a person who is intoxicated would lie. And the question still lies with us. Ile time tunachagua mtu, character uingilia wapi? Character ya mtu ni nini? Character ya mtu ni vile anajibamba, ni vile ana interact na watu, ama ni vile anaishi maisha yake. Juu tunatoka kwa era yenye tunasema State House ati inabamba juu iko mpaka na pombe, tunaingia kwa era yenye State House tumeongeza hadi makanisa. But if you look at the ducks and the ills that are happening when we are having for lack of another word, a drunk State House, the pain is less than when we are having every Wednesday people praying for us in this country. At some point, even people would doubt the God of people like First Lady Rachel Ruto, because you've even brought a group of wanaitwaje watu wa kuombeana, juao si protesters, intercessors. Umeleta mpaka intercessors every Wednesday. Unajua primary school yetu wakati wa exam tukiomba Wednesday manze tulikuwa tunapita, can't it can die. But in this country every Wednesday tunaomba, kumekuwa kuna budget ya intercessors in the State House, lakini vitu haziko right, zote ziko south. We have even having a political intolerance to a point. Saa hii hautasikia gava wakipiga mchezo kama huu wenye tunapata. Kwa nini? Juu wao wanakulia. You see the photo yenye imewekwa na Daily Nation ya barabara ya the expressway pale Mlolongo ukiingia. During maandamano 2023, ni barabara the same yenye CS wa saizi wa interior coordination back then alikuwa wa barabara Kipchumba Murkomen alisema inahitaji 700 million juu imeharibikia kwa maandamano. Wewe ukitoka Mombasa ukikuja Nairobi, wewe bado unasema kuhusu substandards zenye ziko pale. So wao wana feel tulitengenezewa sahani hapa hivi. ni tukue tunakula mdogo mdogo. Ukisikia barabara umesota sana, unasema ile barabara mazee iko na dust, tunahitaji Nairobi Water wapeleke maji huko wamwage, budget inakaaje. Kuna vijana mahali walikuwa wanaruka pale kwani wakakanyaga maua. Milioni ngapi ndio tunahitaji kupanda maua? Milioni ngapi? Kuna kibati gari ka probox kalienda hivi kamebeba miraa kakagonga. Kutengeneza hapo hivyo ni mamilioni ngapi? Those are the things they are looking after. Kuseal loopholes na kutroubleshoot badala ya kufanya development.
Does it then mean that all governments are wrong, or all governments are just a disaster?
It's not the governments, it's us. We put these governments there. Sisi kama wa Kenya, after every 5 years ndo we decide what kind of government do we want. After 2027, the government will not be a Kenya Kwanza government. Whether Kenya Kwanza wins or not, it will be a new government with a new name. Where do these governments come from? They come from us. I mean Sisi.
But if I look at specifics, we've had every government has its own scandal, and the bodies that are responsible for holding them accountable, we see that little, close to little or nothing is done. So that means that it's connected to the government. It's not just about who we elect, because we cannot elect EACC boss, we cannot elect the Auditor General, we can't elect these people. So that means it's a government problem.
That's why we have a document. That's why we have a document that we promulgated in the year 2010, Constitution of Kenya, because we understand that all of us are evil, including mimi. Hizi vitu zingine ni kulani, huwa tunalani. Wewe unalani kukuwa mtu mzuri, but deep down we ni mbaya. So hii constitution inakuambia kuna kitu inaitwa chapter 6, ethics. So tunakuangalia, tunasema wewe una lack ethics, usiingie kwa hii public office. Tuko na constitution. Hata saa hizi tukakaa chini tukuwe na president anafuata hii constitution, tutakuwa na less corruption juu hatuwezi maliza corruption saa hizi Kenya. Tutakuwa na more development juu kama less corruption iko, hizo pesa zingine zinaenda wapi? Tutakuwa more patriotic. You see, saa hizi hatuko patriotic juu watu wakiiba wanapeleka pesa majuu. Wakipeleka pesa majuu, hizo ni kama pesa tu umeweka chini ya mattress, hazikusaidia hata wewe mwenyewe. You just have a future of one day one time, niko na mapesa mahali, but you don't have that money. If we become more patriotic, we'll be able to invest in our country. Vitu kama hizo ndo zinafanyaga ni kuwe very key in investing in social entrepreneurship. Juu social entrepreneurship means I invest in your talent, I invest in talent ya huyu, I invest in talent ya huyu mwingine. It's better than uingie KMTC ukuwe nurse uende Canada.
All right. Now, all right.
Si tulisema
All right.
kweli.
It's fine. Let's leave it at that. John is saying that he blames citizens of Kenya. He blames Kenyans for everything that is happening to them. He blames them for
Yes, jua tuna vote na emotions.
Having, okay. Mtu akiakilia kidogo kwa ibada, bas.
Wewe Mungu amesema ni wewe. Kwanza vile unalia, manze you are genuine. You know, the art of crying is in every Kenyan child. Na hii kitu huwa tunafunzwa kutoka day one. Na sijui kama watoto wa country za nje bado upigwa zile makofi, sisi upigwa hapa hivi kwa spinal cord ndo tulie. You are forced to be to rebellion. Unaingiaga hivi ka unaanza.
All right.
The way you cry inadetermine kama mzazi wako atakushughulikia ama ataacha uendelee kulia.
Manipulation tactics.
Mi kwanza walini manipulate. I think nililia sana nikiwa mdogo.
All right. Ojwang, we have 4 minutes. I want to get your remarks on 2 stories here, and please be brief. We have IEBC begins reviewing a petition to kick out Passaris from office. I think this is in relation to the bill that she presented in Parliament for new rules on protest, that wewe ukitaka kuandamana lazima useme unaandamana kwa nini, placards zitakaaje, utaenda wapi, and all that. And also this a health story also on fast male birth control pills that zimekuja, solving the problem of wanaume mlisema mtaki vasectomy kabisa.
Vasectomy unajua wanasema si unaweza rudisha mahali, but shida inakuwa leo mimi napata vasectomy but sio mimi nabeba mayai, kesho tunajipata tuko na mtoto.
You leave it at that. All right. Now there is this new that is coming on board that mtu anafaa kumeza daily. Do you think is the best way for us to like do family planning, of which wanasema acha sasa men pia wa take one for the team, like pia nyinyi mchangie kwa kupanga uzazi?
Unajua wanaume wamekuwa wakichangia sana kupanga uzazi. Nasema hivyo juu mimi ni mwanaume na niko na mtoto na najua cost ya mtoto mmoja vile iko from a middle income like myself coming from the ghetto. So wanaume wako deliberate, wanataka kupanga uzazi. That's why walisema kuna vasectomy ni kukakunja tu kakamshipa and then bas wanakubali, but haiwork. Hata magazeti yanasema nimekunja kamshipa, kesho tumepata mtoto. So kumekuja hii ya daily. Tutadeal nayo aje sisi kama wanaume, ndo swali kubwa. Lakini bado it's about sisi kama binadamu tukae chini, tukubaliane na tuongee tukiwa na sauti kama hatuna sauti moja leo wanaume wote hata tunaweza anzisha hiyo kampeni ya tumeze hii tembe, tumeze na kesho bado kutakuwa na hawa watoto watapatikana. It's an issue of honesty.
Somebody is telling me vasectomy only works if the wife knows.
Yes. Juu kama ajui kesho mtalea mtoto. Ulikuwa umesema nimalizie na story ya
Pasaris,
and how Pasaris is going to face the axe.
But does it really work?
It can. It's a warning. This is a warning to the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Rigathi Gachagua should be listened because he is coming from a point of emotions. Someone who is angry has a lot of secrets that ukakaa chini ukiwa umenyamaza utamsikia na utaelewa. He said he has a plan ya kumaliza ODM. Tuongelelee kuhusu bright brains like Mbadi. Mimi nasema kuhusu werevu wa Mbadi juu si yeye amesema. Nimesikiza marafiki wake wa karibu kama Maverick Aoko akisema pale hivyo kwa niyo kijana ni mwerevu. But with all that werevu anasema education ina fail juu ya Kenya kwanza. Anaingia huko anasema education haiendelei juu hakuna pesa. Alafu DP Kindiki anamuita naysayers. Anasema wale ambao wanasema hakuna masomo hayawezekani ni naysayers. Rais na yeye anasema kuna wengine wanataka kusabotage. Where is he coming from? ODM. The first person to face the acts of IEBC recalling yenye imekuwa ikingojewa sana is an ODM member of parliament representing Nairobi County, Esther Pasaris. So apart from kumaliza ODM personalities, wamekuwa kisema wabunge ambao wanatuharibia nchi ni wabunge wa UDA. But hapa hivi tunaona that's not exactly the case. Ni mbunge haijalishi ni wa chama kipi, kama ni mbaya ni mbaya. UDA bado kuna wabunge wako UDA na ni wazuri. I have talked about people wenye ukitaka kuwapiga utawapiga juu ya policy but si juu ya development, like Kiharo MP Ndende Nyoro. Ingia kwa opposition, hawezi piga mbunge wa Westlands Tim Wanyonyi on development, hawezi piga Bab on development, but from the same party of ODM anapigwa na hata ataenda home Esther Muthoni Pasaris. Kwa nini? She is not a representative of the people now. Na inasemekana watu wengi wa ODM wamechange from being representatives of the people, yet Orange Democratic Movement is a movement of the people who are oppressed and they are selling the agenda of Ruto or Ruto's agenda. Watu wa ODM ni watu voko, ni watu wako na akili na wakiimba wanajua chenye wanasema. So kama wameamua wanataka kusupport Ruto, wasupport Ruto. Na wale ambao bado wako ODM na wanataka kusupport Wakenya wale wanaumia, waachwe wasupport Wakenya wale wanaumia. I've seen Baba Raila Odinga akitetea Sifuna akisema wacheni Sifuna aongee. If you listen to the things that Sifuna is talking about, he is talking about truth to power. Nyinyi watu mnatukosea. Nyinyi watu mnakuwa vibarua na vibaraka. Tutabadilikia wapi sisi wote?
They say in politics there is nothing like coincidence. Raila speaks, Sifuna speaks. Next we are seeing wacheni aongee. Next we are seeing what is my county governor?
Gladys Wanga.
Saying tuko ndani ya broad best.
Alisema peupe. Anasema hadi jua linaona tuko ndani ya broad based, na kuna wale anasema hatuko ndani ya broad based, tunasaidia broad based. ODM has been there since 2005. Mtoto alizaliwa 2005, saizi ni energetic body ama Gen Z wa miaka 20. ODM could end in 2025, but it will not go past 2027. If it will go past 2027, itakuwa tu kama chama KDP, National Rainbow Coalition, chama ambacho kimeisha. Once you lose the ideology of a party, you've lost the party.
Right,
Parties
so
based on personalities like PNU to bring a president, and it brought iliisha. TNA iliisha. Jubilee iliisha. Parties built on ideologies like ODM imekuwa up to now. But saizi tumeanza kutoka from ideology, because ideology ni ya watu oppressed. In fact, ODM ni chama chenye kinakuwaga na blessing in disguise. Chama ambacho hakijaundwa kikuwe gava. Chama kimeundwa kiishi opposition, and they've never been losing on that. They've been winning on that.
Chama cha handshake. Anyway, let's leave it at that, Ojwang. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning, Ojwang. That was very insightful. Final remarks, a minute strictly as we conclude.
Asante sana. So nasema asante to the fraternity of Kenyatta University and Kenyatta University Television because of the work we are doing, both hapa hivi and at the community level, na ni kazi yenye imekuwa stamped by the chancellor himself. You heard him during the 57th graduation akisema we should all be driven by the spirit of Ubuntu. Spirit of Ubuntu means you are because we are. Hizi vitu zingine zinakujaga juu ya selfishness. Lack of goodwill ni juu ya selfishness. So, ukishaweza kufagia kwako leo, ambia mwenzako afagie kwake kesho, na dunia yote itakuwa safi.
Thank you so
Tupendane.
much. Now, to our viewers back at home, this has been very insightful. If there's one thing you should get out from this discussion and the newspaper review, everything is happening to us as a country because of who we choose to vote in government. That's according to Ojwang Mariam. And be it being given tenders, be it education failing, be it ODM and UDA wrangles, everything is happening to us as a country because of who we choose to elect in office. That is the message of Newspaper Review on this 27th day of July 2025. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning and for staying with us this morning for the last 2 hours or so. Thank you so much for being part of this. My name is Anyango Sylvia. Until next week, bye from us.